It's that time of year to think about holiday safety, and with me is Corporal Joey Williams of the Hot Springs Police Department Public Relations Division. How are you today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, here we are in a parking lot with a store nearby, and that brings us to the topic that people are on a mission. When they want to go out Christmas shopping, they forget about safety, don't they?
Right, and we're in a holiday season where everybody's out getting their gifts and getting ready, gearing up for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's real easy to get wrapped up in our own world and our own lives, on our phones or whatever else, onto the next gift or mission, and we forget to do simple things like lock our car or put our valuables away or take our purse with us.
Not everybody has tinted windows on their vehicle, for example, so it just gives a would-be robber an opportunity to see what's inside.
Right, you have to take that risk versus reward when you're talking about stealing from a car, or breaking into a car. And if I can look in a window of a car that that I can see well into, and I see a purse or I see a cell phone or wrapped gifts or anything like that, it's a pretty tempting target for thieves to take.
So what should you do as far as your vehicle? Where should you place your items? How should you rethink what you're doing when you're shopping?
Well, starting from the top, let's talk about parking in a well-lit area that's well-traveled. It's really easy to want to park in the very far back of a parking lot to avoid door dings, things like that, but that's also easier to be a target. You're out of the vision of security cameras and people. Number one thing is lock your vehicle. I would say well over 50% of our vehicles that are broken into in Hot Springs are to an unlocked vehicle that has valuables left inside of it. If you do lock your vehicle, be sure you take those valuables, your purse, your gifts, cell phones, and place those things either in the trunk or just take them with you. It'd be even easier if you can. It's nothing wrong with going to something by the house or somewhere and dropping some of those gifts off if you have a car full of valuables and get those out of the view of would-be criminals.
Yes. Okay, so let's say that you've finished your shopping and you're approaching your vehicle. There are a couple of things to remember there as well, right?
Correct. You always want to look for suspicious activity. Even when you pull into the parking lot, look, see who's around you, be aware where you're parking at, and when you're leaving a business or a store, and you're leaving here. It's okay to stop for a couple minutes or even a few seconds at the entrance, look around who's in the parking lot, what's going on, who's around your car. I always tell people anytime, if you don't feel safe or you feel like something's wrong, always trust your gut. And there's nothing wrong with picking a phone up and calling the police department and saying, hey, there's someone strange hanging around this parking lot, or I don't feel safe, can you make a pass through? And we'd be glad to do something like that.
I know I personally have gone back into a store and say to a security guard, I don't feel quite right about walking to my car, will you come with me?
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And, our officers will increase patrols in the parking lots looking for that suspicious activity, but I always want to encourage somebody, pick up a phone, call us anytime. That's what we're here for.
And some of us are famous about not having our keys ready when we approach our vehicle. Fumbling for keys is not exactly making yourself safe.
Fumbling for keys kind of gives somebody who may be watching an indication that you're not paying attention. And on that note, also having your keys ready, but also don't be on your phone texting or talking. Have your undivided attention to what's going on around you in the parking lot. Always be aware of your surroundings.
Because it's amazing how oblivious we can get.
Absolutely.
And speaking of oblivious, our children is very important, as far as avoiding a crime when we're shopping, to keep an eye on them as well.
Right. It's real easy being busy and saying, to our children, hey, you go use the bathroom, go over there and use the bathroom. Predators are everywhere these days, and you have to be very aware. Don't let your child run off and go to the bathroom by themselves unless they're at that age that you feel safe doing that. Even if it's right around the corner, even with my child, even if the bathroom's just right here on the corner, I get up and at least open the door, make sure there's nobody else in that bathroom, anybody that could possibly take advantage of them or do something.
Yes, and absolutely don't leave them in the vehicle.
No, please do not leave
no
your child
matter
in the
how
vehicle.
quick your errand is.
Right. Always, and we have the same problem at daycares. People want to run in real quick and leave their child in the running vehicle, especially when it's getting cold outside. That's a no-no. Don't do that. That's not good.
Mm-hmm. So we've covered a lot of shopping tips, and that will help us when we're out and hopefully be a little bit less preoccupied and be more mindful of what we're doing and keep ourselves and our families safe. Let's go back. Let's go to our home and think about ways that we can keep ourselves safe from holiday theft.
Right, a lot of things are, this time of year, Amazon, UPS, the Postal Service are delivering packages to your front door. If you have a trusted neighbor or someone you know who can come take care of those things, a family member, try to get those packages off your door or have them delivered where somebody will be at home. A lot of people this time of year, because it's cold outside, will leave a garage door partially open to allow an animal to come and go so it's warm. That's also dangerous. You're also inviting somebody to crawl into your garage door and come in there, and then they have free reign through your garage, but also to work on a door going into your house where nobody can see what they're doing, and that's going to cause a lot of problems for you.
I have seen that a lot in neighborhoods. People do try to make an effort to keep lights on. What do you recommend as far as exterior lights on a home?
The old myth was that if the lights were on outside, nobody was home. Like at my home and when I tell everybody else, The more light, the better. Criminals don't like to be seen. They don't like the light. The more lights you can turn on, the better. Motion lights, porch lights. And if you're going to be out of town, have somebody you trust or have the lights on a timer. Give that moment of pause to somebody who may be thinking about burglarizing your house, that maybe someone's home. If you have a neighborhood watch, rely on those people around you that are in your neighborhood to keep an eye on your home, pick up your mail, pick up your papers. If you don't, and you want a neighborhood watch, you can always contact the police department, 321-6789, and ask for myself or Officer Cervantes, and we can help you get a neighborhood watch started.
And there are quite a few groups that are the eyes and ears for their own neighborhood that are active, aren't they?
That's correct. And the great thing about a neighborhood watch program or having trusted neighbors is that people who know who you are and are watching your property have a vested interest in keeping that whole neighborhood secure, and that works. If you don't have a neighborhood watch program, always keep in mind that the department has a house watch program that you can take advantage of. By calling that same number at the front desk, you can establish your house on a house watch, no charge, just a little bit limited information, and we can keep an eye on your house throughout the time you're gone.
Yes, and over the years, when we've recommended House Watch program to people who are planning to leave town for the holidays, we have heard great stories of law enforcement catching everything from a busted water pipe to a door or a window left ajar. They can catch a lot of things when they check the perimeter of a home.
Absolutely. We've had officers find a door that was left unlocked, not because the house was burglarized, but someone was in a hurry getting out and forgot to lock that door. So it's a great thing, but it also shows you those officers are getting out and checking those residences. It's just not a matter of driving by and shining a light around. They're actually getting out and actively checking these places that are on the House Watch program.
And is there any charge for it?
There is no charge. It's completely free. All it requires is a little bit of information that we can follow up on if we find something wrong, and it can run up to 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And the name and phone number of a trusted neighbor, I believe.
Yes, we have a point of contact if something's going on that we can get in the house if we need to.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, so we've covered shopping and home. A little bit more about traveling. What about traveling alone or at night? Are those times when you can be a little bit more vulnerable?
Yeah, absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. And thing to be aware of, if you are going to go somewhere, let somebody else know where you're going if you're going to go by yourself. That way, if somebody didn't hear from you, somebody knows at least where you went. So if something does happen, we know where to start looking first. Another big thing is when people go on trips and everything, they want to brag to everybody on social media about they're going out. Don't put on social media you're going to be out of town. Post those pictures and those vacation pics after you get back from your trip and you're back safely in your home. People who we say we're friends with on Facebook, a lot of those people are just acquaintances. They're not truly friends. Sometimes you don't know who you might be disclosing that you're going to be out of town to.
Yes, and social media is a perfect opportunity to divulge not only the fact that you're not home, but it's all location oriented, so
right.
People can actually pinpoint where you are.
Right, and a lot of people will tag themselves at home, and that's a dangerous thing. You shouldn't be doing that. So, social media can be fun, but you got to be very careful how it's utilized.
Right. We live in a world where we have to think about a lot more things than we used to.
That's right. Correct.
Right. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you'd like to add while we wrap up this holiday safety segment?
I just want people to be encouraged to be safe, be aware of your surroundings. One thing we didn't add on the going out and shopping stuff, if you're going to be in a store, don't leave your purses unattended in a buggy.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Be sure you take them, strap them in, zip them up, and it's easy to see something that's on sale or walk over something that's, look at something and you leave that purse. Those people are watching, they're in these stores and they're watching for you to leave your purse alone just for a few seconds to reach in and grab something out of it. So another tip to try to be aware of and be careful.
Phones and cell phones as well. People
Yes.
will take a picture of an item to think about whether or not they might purchase it and just leave it on a shelf.
That's right.
So those are items that are easy for shoplifters
They're easy
to pick up
easy
and
targets.
help themselves too.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Thank you so much. That's been a wealth of information that you've shared with all of us. Just a reminder that we all need to be more aware of what we're doing.
And once again, if you see something, say something is what we encourage people. Call that number 321-6789 and we'll be glad to help.
Yes, and the Hot Springs Police Department is always there to help you, but hopefully if you utilize some of these tips, there may be a few less calls they'll have to respond to.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Thank
again
you.
for joining us today.
Appreciate it.
And next week we'll bring you more City News.